When we artificially color hair that lacks pigment completely, such as natural gray hair or even natural platinum hair that doesn't have any pigment to it other than yellow, we need to be very careful in our formulation strategy. Most color lines will incorporate the natural contributing pigment of said hair into their formulation. So if you lack natural melanin pigment in your hair, chances are pretty much any color that you put on your hair could potentially turn a gray or just like a muddy silver color. There's not enough pigment in your hair to incorporate the balance that is needed to create a more balanced result of the color that you put on. So we need to create that balance artificially. First, we need to determine what our starting point is of the hair that we're working on. Chances are it's not going to be this highly chromatic pastel yellow. It's probably going to be closer in this area if it's like a natural platinum yellow. Next, we need to determine what our goal color is. Let's say we wanted to do more of like kind of a rosy color, or maybe even just like enhance the blonde that we have. So what do we need to add to this color here to get it, let's say, like over here? So if we were to put this color over this color, chances are it's going to be somewhere in the middle of the two colors. And that can kind of turn a little bit kind of like a muddy grayish pink color. So we need to add more colors and more pigments to kind of create that natural reflection of hair artificially. So if you're trying to stay away from getting these like muddy grayish colors, you need to add bright reflection. And what is the brightest color on this entire color wheel? Yellow, of course. Adding in this extra yellow or like a soft gold into your formula mixed with this kind of pinky color is going to create more balance and possibly go from like over here to kind of shifting it out away from the center of the color wheel. And since the hair that we are working on lacks pigment, when you artificially color hair that lacks pigment, it will almost remove the shine from the hair. So you have to create the shine and the depth in the formula, because naturally melanated hair has some sort of combination of all three primary colors of red, yellow, and blue to create that natural depth and natural shine. So if you do not incorporate a version of all three primary colors into your formula, chances are you're going to turn muddy gray. Now, the artificial pigments that you use to create your natural depth and things will depend on what your goal is and what you're starting with. This is why I would recommend studying a color wheel and figuring out how to mix certain colors together to shift your results around the color wheel. And that way you can get a lot more familiar of mixing certain pigments together to create colors with a little bit more accuracy, and really practicing with the color lines that you use so you know what pigments do what to each other and to the hair that you're working on. So let's do a very simplistic, natural looking platinum blonde. We're starting here. Let's put purple on to neutralize that yellow. Now we've turned it gray. Don't love the gray, so let's add a little bit of gold to it, which is going to be right around here. So that's going to shift that result of gray up a little bit away from the center of the color wheel, but it's not going to make it yellow again. Does that make sense? But if we're going more icy, what if we put in purple to neutralize the yellow, which is going to turn it gray, and then we also put like an ashy color in, and that's going to shift it even grayer and more cool tone, more muddy. So adding that extra gold into your formula is going to shift it back over in this area. Does that make sense? So this specific formula is going to be the three primary colors of violet is going to be the red in our formula. The like silvery ashy is going to be the blue in the formula. And then our gold is going to be the yellow in our formula to create that perfect balance to where it's going to be cool toned, it's going to be icy, but it's also going to be bright and reflected and not muddy gray. Make sense?